I haven't added us. There we go. Sorry about that. Welcome to this June 27th version of AM Live on EOA, your connection to Eastern Oregon. We're glad you're here with us this morning. And don't forget, we're always on Roku. You can find us there. How are you, man?
I'm good. Good morning. Good morning. It's second Monday.
Second Monday.
Second Monday.
Yeah. And it's kind of drizzly and rainy out there.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah. It was funny. I was listening to a podcast on the way to work here. And one of the things the guy said was like, my dad used to say, don't complain about the rain, just complain about the timing of the rain.
I mean, the rain doesn't hurt, obviously, this time of year, but it's still, we can't figure out what we want to do.
Yeah.
It's June 27th.
I know.
It's summer. Like, let's go.
Yeah. And I'm sure it's inconvenient.
Yeah. Well, it's not inconvenient for me per se, but
But I mean, if you got hay down out there.
Yeah. They're I was talking with my uncle yesterday, and they're pulling up hay right now out there, and he said that yesterday it rained here for a little while, right around 2:00 or 1:30.
Yeah.
And it did not rain out on Hunter.
Wow.
Which is weird. Yeah. Like he said, they got no rain at all because they're pulling up hay right now.
Wow.
Yeah. So they got lucky, I guess.
Yep. All righty.
Let's bust out some sports.
All right. Here we go.
This morning sports update is brought to you by Hobby Habit. Right here in LeGrand, they have all kinds of cool stuff. I mean, Traxxas RC cars. They have all the newest Legos. They have STEM for your kids. They have rockets. They have magic cards. Hobby Habit, 411 First Street in LeGrand, just for the fun of it. The sports report for today is going to be pretty quick. We're going to just talk a little bit about Little League, and then I'm going to show you a video. I'm going to show you Will's video, and then we'll be done. And this is all coming from the LeGrand Little League Facebook page. That's the only insight that I have to the tournament. The 10U girls play Grant Union today at 3:30 in their All-Star tournament. The 12U girls play Hermiston at 1 p.m. today in the semis, and this is all in Hermiston. And then the LeGrand boys juniors won the district tournament, and that's all I have for boys. There was games last night, but I haven't gotten any updates on the scores for those. As for other local sports, the Legion team doesn't have a home game until the middle of July, so we'll look at some baseball then. And we're just moving right along with a Shrine game. And that takes me into the video that I'm going to share with you guys today. It's last year's patient ambassador, Gideon, and he talks about what Shriners Hospital has done for him here today.
I was originally at the OHSU for Chiari, Formation 2, and then when I was walking and playing with my cousins one day, my aunt realized that my right shoulder was higher than the left, and then they got me checked for scoliosis. And then 2017, I was recommended to the Shriners for my scoliosis, and I had my first surgery, the magic rods, which are basically these metal rods that extend through my body, so I don't have to have a surgery every 6 months or so. And I had one in 2018. I had another in 2020, and the most recent one in May, I believe it was the 27th. And it's been doing good. I'm going to be able to do stuff like jiu-jitsu and ultimate frisbee, and I'm planning on becoming an electrician. But it's really helped my life, and I've been able to grow, and because previously my lungs were being compressed and they would not have been able to mature to their full size. So Shriners Children's Hospital has helped me a lot, and they've been so helpful, and I feel like it's been a good thing. I feel like it's a necessity in this country, and it's something that like a lot of people need, and I've been there, and just the people there are just really kind, and it's just, I don't know, it's just a different type. Almost everybody there's almost like a family member, like people I've just grew up with and grew around, and like I feel like it means a lot to me, and like the people there are just like a different type of people. I'm glad that I was selected for being a student ambassador for Shriners Hospital for Children, because I'm just glad to be behind or be a part of this community and the community that the Shriners Hospital for Children has created and built upon.
It's patient ambassador Gideon from last year's Shrine game. He's a local kid right here in town, and he just talked about what Shriners means to him. And then one more thing, my play-by-play guy for the Shrine game has a message about how if you want to help sponsor or if you want to advertise during the game.
Hello there. My name is William McLaughlin, and I am the play-by-play announcer for this year's EO Live Sports broadcast of the Oregon East-West Shrine All-Star Football Game. This is my third consecutive year doing this, and it is truly an honor. This game means a lot to me, not just because it showcases great athletes from around the state of Oregon, but also because I was once a patient of Shriners Hospital for Children. Shriners' motto is love to the rescue, and they truly mean that. The work they do for children is truly amazing, and it makes a difference. Trust me, I know from personal experience. If your business is interested in being a game day sponsor for this year's game on July 29th, reach out to EOA TV today. We offer multiple sponsorships, including game title sponsor, game sponsor, quarter sponsor, replay sponsor, and more. Consider being a sponsor today. Not only does it go to a great cause, but it's also a great way to promote your business throughout the region and on the only broadcast of the East-West Shrine All-Star Football Game.
William McLaughlin there. That's our play-by-play guy, and he's passionate about Shrine, and it's a fun thing. Your AM Sports Report brought to you by Hobby Habit right here in LeGrand, just for the fun of it.
All righty. Let's take a look outside.
The crumminess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Kind of rainy and
June
drizzly.
27th.
Yeah. And that, let's see, what's
It's not pretty out there.
the weather forecast here. So,
Look at Thursday.
yeah.
So we're going to get showers today, showers tomorrow, and then we should clear up
May
Thursday.
straighten up for the weekend.
87 on Thursday.
Wow.
I can deal with that. I could use some sunshine in my life.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, this morning we have Arlan and Richard from the Classic Car Show here in LeGrand, and that's happening during Crazy Days, just a few weeks away. And they're going to be here with us to talk about that car show right after this. right, we're back with Richard and Arlan but you're from the Timbers Car Club, right?
Timber Cruisers Car
Timber
Club.
Cruisers Car Club, but you're calling this event the Classic Car Show. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Has it always been the Classic Car Show, or
No.
has it been the Timber Cruisers? Yeah.
We changed it a couple of years ago because it just got too complicated. We had the Rendezvous. We did it, the Rendezvous, the river,
Uh-huh.
and we went on a poker run out through the country. So it was viewing the Grand Ronde Valley. So we did the Grand Rendezvous weekend car show, but it just got too long. So we just shortened it up to the LeGrand or the Classic Cars Show.
Classic Car Show. All right. Well, cool. And you guys have been doing this a long time.
This is our 15th year, I believe.
Wow.
I think.
Yeah. And you both have cool cars. I've seen both of you. So tell me, Richard, what kind of a car do you have?
I have a 1940 Ford Deluxe Coupe. So it has all the goodies that you would expect it to have.
Yeah. And how long have you had that car?
We've only had it a couple of years.
Okay.
So
Now, what did you have before that?
we had a 50 Ford Coupe
Okay.
before that.
Wow.
So we upgraded a little bit. At least I hope it's an upgrade. I never know.
Downgraded 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah. That's with classic cars, you downgrade and that's an upgrade.
Right.
Yeah. If it's an older car. Yeah.
Older is better.
Yeah. And what car do you have, Arlan?
I have a 59 Chevy Bel Air.
Okay.
I've taken pictures of your car before.
Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah.
Well,
One of
it's
my
been
favorite
around a long
pictures,
time. I've had it since 97.
Yeah. Now you guys were out driving the other day somewhere. I mean, it seemed like there was a herd of you somewhere.
Well, we went to Umatilla last Saturday.
Okay.
5 of us went over there to their car show.
And you go like in a convoy. So
We do.
So it makes a statement.
Well, we just like to travel together. So when one guy breaks down, somebody else can help him out.
Yeah, that is.
It's like going in a covered wagon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you want a spare wheel and an extra
Right.
oxen and everything else. So.
Yeah. So it's like, so one of you guys like, okay, well, I'll bring the toolbox. You guys bring the jacks.
Right.
You have a,
Yep.
yeah. Yeah. So, because that's the deal with older cars is,
They do break down.
yeah, it's that, well, and they broke down when they were new too. Well,
Oh, yeah.
not brand new, but I
Sure.
mean, the reliability of cars has increased a great deal.
Our cars are probably more reliable now than they were when they were new. Really.
Interesting. Yeah. No, I mean, that's an even tire, like the tire technology
Right.
is changed tremendously. Yeah.
Yeah. The old Supply tires.
Yeah.
Yeah, you very seldom ever have a flat tire on any vehicle anymore. But even back in the 60s, you know, having a flat tire once a month was a common thing that you had to deal with. And I can remember that from the farm.
Yeah. Wow.
But our cars, you know, are you just throw some body putty over the bullet holes and throw some paint on it.
Which is an interesting question. Does anybody in your club actually have bullet holes that they've covered in their cars?
Not that I know of.
Yeah, I don't know.
No.
I mean, I would imagine it's generally something you don't talk about if you got bullet holes in your car.
Yeah.
Well,
You have to
it's
cover them.
kind of a badge of honor, though, to have some of these old cars that they found out in the woods. It's got 30 bullet holes in them. People will build a whole new car around that and leave those holes
Leave
in
the
there.
bullet holes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just looks cool at a car show.
Well, that's for sure. So let's talk about the car show. So,
Okay, good.
Yeah. So, I mean, how many have you guys had in the past? Last year was a really good year, right? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, we had close to 150.
That's crazy.
And right now I have 80 registrations in. And the most I've ever had before was 55 on the 1st of July.
Okay.
And I have 80 right now.
Wow. So
And 6 of those are from Union County.
not many.
Not many.
Okay.
So we need the local people to come out now.
So how many Union Countyites do you normally have, like, for that?
30 or 40.
Wow. Okay. So, and if people want to register, to come out, what do they do? Give us the info.
Well, the easiest way would be to go to our website, which is timbercruiserscarclub.com, and you can print off a registration form just like this.
Okay. And do they have to have a really cool car in order to be a part? Yeah. So talk
We
about
like
that.
them all. We
Yeah.
like them all.
Because in the past they've had.
Coolness is
Go
in
on.
the eye of the beholder.
That's true. Good point. Yeah.
Because in the past they've had, I mean, even newer cars. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, if somebody has an electric car, anyhow, the names are what's the popular electric
Tesla.
brand? A Tesla. Yeah.
We had one a couple of years
Yeah.
ago. We had a Tesla,
Mhm.
and we don't have a class for that. But I'm thinking maybe next year we should, because there are a lot of electric cars around. So I think maybe we should have a class for that in the future,
Well,
because there's more and more of them.
Yeah. Well, and it was I mean, I know that Tesla owner who brought it a couple of years ago, and it
Mhm.
was just an opportunity for him to kind of. It was an opportunity for people to be able to look
Right.
inside and sit
Yeah.
inside and see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're very nice.
Yeah. So I mean, tell us about what happens on that day. You guys have different classes and competitions, and I mean, talk about that a little bit, Arlan.
I can tell you most of it. We
Okay.
start out on Friday evening
Okay.
at 5 o'clock at Riverside Park, and there will be a dinner for two for all the registrants. Those who have registered get dinner for two, and it's just a meet and greet. So we don't really do anything other than have a meal there, and that's catered. And then Saturday, all day on Adams Avenue, and we would like you in place by 9 o'clock-ish or so. Somewhere after 7, we'll be down there about 6:30 getting set up. So I'd like them to hold off until at least 7 to come in. We can get down there at 6 o'clock and there'll be 6 of them sitting there waiting for us. But anyway, we have a poker walk downtown. We have a raffle, which a lot of the merchants around town have donated things. So we have a raffle. We sell tickets to that. And the proceeds of that, we donate to the Northeast Oregon Food Bank. However much we take in, we donate it all. We have live music. We have Frank Carlson from Baker City. He's been here several years now. Everybody really likes him. At 2 o'clock, we'll give out the awards. And after that, we'll do a poker run out through the country. And Richard leads that because he used to work for the county on the road. So he knows all the back roads and which ones are being chip sealed. So he can take them down those roads and avoid those, really. But we come back into town, and we have two $12 food vouchers for restaurants downtown. Will be in the goodie bags, so everybody gets 2 of those. That's from 4 to 7. And then after that, we cruise Adams Avenue, and we give away cash. We draw the numbers of the placard that's in the windshield. We'll draw those numbers, give away, I think, $10 every few minutes. And then a lot of the merchants downtown have bought plaques that it says cruise favorite sponsored by Joe's Place or whatever.
Yeah.
And they just stand along Adams Avenue, step out in the street and present it to the car that they like.
Yeah.
So it's just a way to get people to come downtown. We want people to be downtown and enjoy all the cars. Then Sunday morning, we'll do coffee and donuts.
That's cool.
So we keep everybody pretty busy and hopefully out of trouble.
So Richard, what's the poker run? What is that? What do you do when you do that?
Well, each person that wants to go on a poker cruise, we'll start at Safeway, I believe, this year again. And we give everybody a card that has 7 poker hands on it. They draw a card out of a bag. We mark it on the card. Then we go to the next place, stop, do the same thing till our card is full. then we'll meet at Riverside Park and figure out who has the winning hand and give out the cash prizes.
Oh, okay.
So,
And it's a couple $100, several, I don't remember, 200 or 300.
mhm.
And we do like the best 2 of a kind, the best 3 of a kind, the best full house, the best of each thing, and then the best hand. So it's about 7 different people who will win some money. It isn't one person that wins it all.
Wow.
And we'll have 50 cars at least that do that.
Yeah.
I
Wow.
would say.
And I mean, this is such a, I mean, I've been a part of this, you know, been an observer of this for several years now. We've done the plaques on the
Right.
car cruise and things several different times. And
Yes.
I mean, it's just a great event. And it's a great, I mean, and you see that at Crazy Days too. I mean, you do this in conjunction with Crazy Days.
Right.
And so, but a lot of people come to see the cars. I mean, they wonder, but I mean, it's just a cool event because people can admire the cars and do the other Crazy Days activities too. So
We've had a lot of the people from out of town that have mentioned that a lot of the people here will ask them questions about their car. They seem like they're really interested, where you can go to some shows and sit there all day and nobody will ever talk to you. And they said that here, a lot of people seem to be interested in the cars, and everybody appreciates that, because when you spend all that money to fix up a car, you like to talk about it.
you're like,
you know?
yeah.
So it's nice when people ask you things about your car. You
Yeah.
know, you're excited to tell them what you did and how you did it. And for some reason, they always say LeGrand is good for that because people are interested in our car.
Huh.
Hmm.
So so on the day of the car show, I mean, at 2:00, you hand out the awards.
Yes.
What awards do the car show participants, give us an idea of the types of awards that,
Well,
that
we
people
have one for almost every year. You know, we split. I got a list here if I can use it as a cheat.
sure.
I mean, we do pre-49 original, and then 49 and older that are a street rod. And we've got the 50s and the 60s and the 70s, and then you get up to the muscle cars and the new muscle cars, which are the Mustangs, Camaros, Challengers, and pickups. We got a 4-wheel drive. We got a motorcycle. We end up with, I counted it up last night, we've got 38 awards.
Wow.
And each of our sponsors, which I should mention our sponsors too, we have 6 sponsors, plus the tourism department of the Chamber of Commerce gave us a grant, so we consider them a sponsor. So if I can mention our
go ahead.
sponsors, I'm going to cheat.
Yeah.
Just make sure I don't forget somebody. We've got Goss Motors. We've got Zipley Fiber. We've got the Marketplace, LeGrand Auto Repair, John Howard Realty, and Les Schwab Tires,
Good.
and the tourism. So each of those, and the car club, picks one car that's called the sponsor's choice. And then we have the best General Motors product, the best Ford product, the best Mopar. And the chief of police picks a car that our criteria to him, the car most likely to get a ticket before the weekend is over. And the fire chief picks a car for the car most likely to be the first one to the fire. So it's kind of a screaming hot rod. So there's several. And we have one choice that the participants pick their favorite host car. So our car club gets one trophy. We're not judged in any of the other stuff. We're out of that because we want our people coming in to get all the trophies. So
Of course. Yeah.
Well, cool. So other than the cars that you have built, Richard, you go first. What is your favorite? I mean, what's some of the favorite cars that you've seen over the past few years?
Well, I like the old Fords from 32 up through the 60s.
Yeah.
The 32 was the first year Ford put a flathead V8 in it, so people really liked to hot rod those. And some are original, but almost all of them. If you've seen the movie American Graffiti, the yellow car that is in there is, well, it was a tribute to that car, plus all the old cars.
Yeah.
But that was the car that was featured in the movie. And yeah, it's your favorite. You go down the street and you say, oh, I really like this one. Then you go to the next car. Oh, now I like this one the best.
Yeah.
And for me, I go down the whole street and everyone is my favorite when I see it. But to appreciate what the people have built and what they like and those kind of things. And I've made new friends that come to our car show, and we have gone to those. Met a guy that's from where he's from Ione, and I've seen him probably the last 5 years at some of the local shows, and now we're friends and just people that you would never meet someplace else.
Yeah.
And we're going to Ione on the 4th of July.
Huh.
You have to return the favor. When those people come here,
Sure.
we feel like we should go to their show.
Yeah.
So we get a group of us, try to go to a lot of shows.
And we're associated with the Hermiston Car Club, and those people are real organizers, and they send us a list of all the car shows in the area. And as Arlan mentioned, the 4th of July show, I looked on my sheet this morning, and there's 7 car shows on 4th of July within probably 100-mile radius.
Right.
Wow.
So
It's a popular day for car shows.
yeah, and I never realized that every barn and every garage you drive by has an old car in it. I don't know where they come from, but there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
And we'd like to see them come out and come to our show.
Yeah.
There's so many sit around and never get out. Bring them out and bring them to our show.
Good.
We don't care if it's $100,000 trailer queen. We just like to bring them out.
See, there's a term I didn't know, $100,000 trailer queen.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, right. Because
The ones that they never drive. They
Right.
drive them off the trailer and take it to the show.
Yeah.
When the show is over, they put it back in their trailer and go home.
Well, and it's always entertaining to me. There's a lot of half-baked projects. There's a lot of project
in
cars.
progress.
Yeah, in progress.
Yeah,
There's probably an award for that.
Yeah.
There is.
Yeah,
there is an
usually
award
in
for
car
that.
shows,
Yeah.
That's one I forgot to mention. Yeah, we have one.
Yeah.
And technically, every car there is in progress because they're never done.
Yeah.
There's always something else that you want to do. So,
Yeah, like fix what broke last time
Right.
we had it out.
yeah. Improve on something.
Yeah. So, Arlan, what's your favorite? What are some of the?
I kind of like the 60s cars. Kind of my time. I did my driver's training in high school in a 59 Chevy, which I ended up having a 59 by accident. Just, it was for sale when I retired, so I bought it.
Nice.
Lots of money ago. So, yeah, it's just, I'm sort of like Richard. I like them all, and they all have special things about them. So if you look at them, there's something cool and special about every car.
Yeah.
And if you ask the guys, they'll tell you what they did.
Right.
Just like on my 40, the trunk does not have the trunk lid springs to hold up the trunk lid like it came from the factory. And last weekend at Umatilla, I looked at 2 other cars that were similar to mine, and I want to see your hinges and your trunk lid. And so he says, okay, well, I got this from here, and you do this and you do that. They're very willing to help and to teach.
Yeah.
Teach you what they did, and they're proud of their work.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of funny because when I was a kid, I mean, my first car that I owned was an old car. I mean, that's kind of the culture that I grew up in, partially because we didn't have the money to buy a new
Yeah, that's
car.
all you
And
could afford.
yeah. And if I was, if you were a teenager and you were gonna buy a car, you were probably gonna buy a fixer upper. And
Sure.
if it were older, yeah. And yeah, so So I graduated in 79, but the car that I bought and drove was a 51 Nash.
Oh my.
Yeah. And, thinking back on it now, there was only a 20-year, I don't know, 30-year gap, I guess, between,
Yeah.
but now there's a lot of, well, anyhow, I won't go into it. A 30-year-old car now is very common these days. I
Right.
mean,
They're still on the road.
yeah, they're still on the road.
Yeah.
But I guess but the culture has changed a little bit. There's not as many young people. I guess I'm perceiving this. Are there as many young people that are fixing up old cars as what there might have been in the past? Do you think?
No, I don't think so. Part of it is discretionary income.
Mm-hmm.
And I know when I was, until I practically retired, I didn't have discretionary income. You're raising your family, you're paying the bills.
Right.
But we do have a couple of young couples in our car club.
Yeah.
And it's good to see them. And there's another car club in here in town that basically has younger folks in it.
Eastern Oregon Car Club.
I would say too, to add to his point, tuners kind of take the place for the younger people now,
Right.
which you guys didn't really have.
Oh,
back
yeah, that's
when
true.
You know what I mean? A
Yeah.
lot of the younger generation are into the tuner cars. Foreign cars, they're tuning.
Yeah, I
them
didn't
up
even
and
know
doing
that
all-
was the word for it. Those
it's
tuners.
called
Yeah.
tuners,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's more popular with the younger generations. With your guys' generation, they didn't have those, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
And they're
that's the
not
difference.
that interested in our old cars. And we haven't changed over to be as interested in theirs as we
No.
should. But the Eastern Oregon Car Club has a lot of Subarus and Toyotas.
Supras,
And, yeah.
all
and-
the tuner cars.
I mean, they can run and hide from our old V8s. They're so much faster. But we need to involve those younger people in our group and we have a category for imports. We have one for Europeans and one for Asians. So that includes most of theirs.
Yeah.
But we need to get more involved with them because they're the ones who are going to take over in a few more years because we might not be here. And we're all getting older and we need somebody young to take over for us. So we need to find a way to include them in our
Club.
stuff.
But people don't really realize, I don't think, how old on an average our cars are in our club. I mean, my Ford is 83 years old,
Yeah.
and you think, wow.
old.
Yeah, it's just clicked by.
They're
And
all
that's-
retirement age.
Yeah, right. I have a
Yeah.
favorite car. My favorite car is a '67 El Camino, but not the Super Sport because I don't like bucket seats, and
Oh,
I prefer 327 over a 350. So
I agree.
is
Yeah.
67 El Camino, and man, it's got the airbags. It was a great car. It's basically the Nova with a truck bed, right?
Right.
I mean,
Yep,
it's
that's
just
right.
a great. It's good looking.
No, the
square,
Chevelle. It's the
or it's the
Chevelle.
Chevelle with the truck bed, and it's just square. There's no curves on it. It's just, oh yeah, it's pretty.
I just differ with you on the bucket seats. I prefer bucket seats.
Not me.
I took the bench seat out of my car and
And
sold
put
it
buckets in.
and put bucket seats in.
You can't have your
'Cause
lady
they're-
riding right here
Well,
if you ain't got a
At my
bench,
age,
bro.
you don't care.
Our ladies in our cars
And
are
when you hit the
basically
shifter,
hanging
you
on.
can accidentally put your hand on her knee if she's sitting right
yeah,
in the middle.
Yeah, I know.
No comment.
My best friend is a big car dude, and his family owned property out in Durkee, and his grandfather worked for the railroad, had a bunch of property out there, and he's like, I got to go pick up this car. Well, I'd never seen it before, and I didn't know what it was. We get out there, 1950 Packard.
Oh my.
That's like a tank. That's
Yeah,
like a rough.
it
I
is.
mean, that thing is like a tank. We had to pull it out. He was going to rebuild it. He ended up selling it to some guy on the East Coast for 10 grand.
Wow.
But the coolest thing about the Packard is the hood ornament. That
okay,
big,
yeah.
whatever, that,
Yeah,
whatever
the
that
wings
thing
on
is. Yeah. Oh my gosh, man. What a cool car. But the heaviest car I've ever seen in my life, by far.
The other thing too I like about the classics are that they change body styles at least every other year. Now, anything from 2000 up have no idea what year it is, and sometimes don't even know what kind of car it is. But you look at our old cars, and you definitely know what it is, and sometimes the year, like
Right.
Arlan's car is a 1-year car, the body style.
Wow.
Because in 61 they changed it a little bit, in 62 totally. My car is 39 and 40 are similar, but not identical. And
Right.
41 is totally different. Of course, then you had the war years, so you didn't have cars again until 46, I believe.
Right.
And so
Well, and sometimes you said they weren't identical. They would be subtle little differences. The tail light would be a little different.
Right.
Or,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
taillight, grill, windshield.
59 and 60 are kind of similar, but the whole front end is different. The back end is different,
Yeah.
but the shape of the body is similar. The fins are different, and the tail lights and the whole grill and everything is totally redesigned. But last weekend, I was parked right next to a 58, which is one of our members, Jim Coxon. The 58 was totally redesigned from 57, and the 57 was redesigned from the 56. So the 60 is a little bit similar, but just every year they just change totally. And now they keep the same design for 10 years.
Yeah, at least, right? The
At least.
Suburban, it was a box for like ever. And then
Yeah.
they switched it to the rounded front end in, I want to say 2000, I think, or maybe 99.
I don't
But
even
before
know.
that, it was a box, and now it's everything has to be all pretty and curvy, and I don't like that. I want a box, man. Give me a box to drive. if I'm
Bigger
gonna
is
drive.
better.
Absolutely.
So at the most of the time, you guys are driving pretty calmly, I would say.
We try.
But the exception is sometimes at the cruising event at 7:00 on Saturday, sometimes there is a little rubber left
Let's
on the
go.
road.
That's the
Yeah.
best part.
Well, accidents happen. Your foot slips off the clutch sometimes. We discourage that though, because there are a lot of people around and other cars parked there. So we'd rather not have that happen downtown, but I
But it
know it
will.
does. As long as it's small and controlled.
Yeah,
Well-
small and control. Yeah,
Didn't we stream
we
the
did.
car
We've done
show
it.
one time?
We've
There's
done-
plenty of
we've done
there's
we've done
plenty of
several
ripping
of
and
them,
roaring
yeah.
down there.
And the only time I get a little nervous is when it fishtails a little bit
Yeah.
toward the library.
Well,
Yeah.
they had one down at the Dalles where a guy lost control and hit a couple of cars, killed a lady that
Oh,
was
no.
standing there. He ended up upside down on fire.
Oh wow.
Wow.
So I don't want any of that to happen here.
No.
Right.
I
But
just-
but it is a little entertaining.
a little bit is fine.
A little
but
bit's okay. Yeah.
Don't-
Controlled chaos.
Don't get carried away, please. Because I don't want our city police to be too busy that night.
Yeah.
I want them to come down and enjoy, because they do come down and watch over things, but pretty much leave everybody alone as long as it's under control.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, very cool. So give us the details one more time. Which weekend? How can people register? The whole 9 yards. Yeah.
July 14, 15, 16. And
And I think we do have that poster we can put.
Yeah, I'll throw
Yeah,
it up right
okay.
now.
Yeah.
And I also put the link to your guys' website up on the page as well.
there
There's
it is.
the-
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's the poster
So
right
we
there.
can, you can mail it in by the 1st of July. It'll be $30, $35 after the first. And we just do that to encourage people to get signed up, so we have an idea of how many will be at the dinner on Friday night. So the
There's the
sooner you sign
website.
up, the better we like it. But if you sign up late, that's fine too. But we need some local cars out there.
So the cost is $35 if you do it before, or $40 if
No, 30 or 35.
30 or
$30
35.
before the 1st of July, 35 after.
So
Wait, $30? That's it? You get
Yes.
I know. I was
dinner
what-
and
that's what I
$24
was-
worth of vouchers.
that's what
for
I was
food?
calculating.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
That's
Like,
because
they're
of our
paying for
sponsors.
meals.
That's
Yeah.
because of our
That's
sponsors.
good. Yeah.
Our sponsors are paying for that.
Good.
Yeah, wow.
Well,
Way back when we started, we had Baxter Auto Parts as our first sponsor. And he said, I don't want you to try to collect money to donate to something. You give it all back to the people that come. And I thought, well, that's a cool idea. So anytime we get a new sponsor now, I tell them we're not saving money to donate to anything. We're giving it all to the people that come. So we spend it all on food and trophies and stuff like that. So
And then you do the one donation for the food bank through
Yeah.
the raffle. And that's it.
only the money we get from the raffle,
That's a great
we
idea.
donate that. So the club is not making any money.
It'd be absolutely hard to be a car owner and not go to this car show. If you get dinner for 2
nights.
$24 worth of food vouchers, and a chance at a trophy. I mean,
And
why
the
not?
poker walk and the poker cruise
Yeah.
Yeah,
and the
raffle.
cruise for cash.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, thanks for doing that.
We give
Yeah.
away a lot. Well, we have to thank our sponsors and all the merchants downtown that donate all the raffle items. Without that, we'd be in trouble.
Well,
Good.
and I've been involved in Main Street for years, as you know,
Right.
and the car show has always been a critical part of Crazy Days, and really awesome that those two events can be together.
It brings a lot of people into town or downtown.
Yeah. Well, and it creates it is the meaning of synergy. It's two things coming together that creates
Yeah.
a great energy. So,
But we really want spectators
right.
Saturday night for the cruise
Yeah.
because it's just nice to see these old cars driving.
Well, and that has a lot of fun. That's a great family activity.
Right.
Bring
Your chair. And
yeah, bring your chair,
Sit down. And
bring your
watch 'em.
kids. Yeah. And it's you guys, how long do you do that? About an hour?
Yeah,
I'm trying-
7 to 8:30.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a loop. It's an
Right.
old school cruise.
Yeah.
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 Cruising the strip.
Old school. See, you're
When,
getting
Yeah.
when I was in high school here, that was every Friday and Saturday night.
Right.
in LaGrange.
Yeah.
It
Cruising
don't
the
happen
gut.
anymore.
The gut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like to too. If there's some guy that is really admiring my car, I offer to take him for a ride.
Sure.
And it's the only chance, maybe ever, that they'll get to have a ride in a particular car. And some guys are kind of, what if, But
Yeah.
I say, hey, if I have it to share, if I can't share it, I need to do something
Yeah.
different.
Yeah. And
But-
kids
Yes.
kids
especially
enjoy it.
kids.
Our whole family comes. Our kids come home for that weekend and enjoy this whole thing. And our one son down in Portland hasn't been here, so this year all the kids got together and went camping together. And something was on Facebook about the car show. My daughter put on there a thing on
Mhm.
Facebook to our son down in Portland, said, "This is a family weekend. Your attendance is mandatory."
No pressure.
So, right. So I think he'll be coming too this year. He hasn't been, but his work schedule has changed and he's got weekends off now. So all of our kids will come here. Our grandkids are downtown and they love to give out. Marianne always buys a plaque for her city council spot, and she buys one for Main Street so she can give them out because she enjoys those plaques. So the grandkids do that. And half the time, whoever they present that plaque to will ask them if they would like a ride. And if they don't, I'll ask them, do you mind taking him for a ride? So that's kind of exciting to
Yeah.
take these kids for a ride because they get pretty wide-eyed over some of these cars,
Yeah. Well, very cool.
Yep.
Well, thank you for doing that. Thank you guys for investing in the community. I know it's something that you love, but thank you for sharing that with us.
Well, we do the weekend because we want people to come spend the weekend. Maybe we've had people come early in the week and drive around the community and go to Blow Lake and, drive around for a week here or
Yeah, you'll
better
start
part of it.
seeing cars in town Tuesday and Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have one question of you guys.
Yeah.
What kind of car do you want us to look for you?
Wow. So I'm kind of with you. I'm a big Ford coupe guy. That has been from a very early age for me, is like, if I could have and the irony about what we were talking about earlier is, when you were younger and you collect cars, you don't really have the income to fix them up,
Right.
Yep.
And but I've always admired the 30s Ford coupes, just because they're classic. They're
Well, they
beautiful.
were the icons that started this whole
Right.
thing,
Yeah.
whatever the thing is. But
Yeah.
they're the ones that started it. And most of those were the 32 to 34 Fords.
Yeah.
And that's what the guys got for $15, but the biggest engine they could afford in it. And
Yeah.
that's where it started.
Yeah.
Me, I'm late 60s muscle.
Yeah, but you're young.
Yeah, late 60s muscle. 69 and a half Camaro, whatever. Late 60s muscle. Mainly Chevy. I just prefer Chevy.
Yeah.
And it was funny because we were talking about the what's the modern kit car? What's the tuners? Yeah.
Tuners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not kit cars. They're
No, I
mainly
know.
foreign
I'm
cars.
I'm trying to get a hold of that term.
They're
Yeah.
imports.
Tuners. Yeah.
Yeah.
The noise of a tuner car versus a muscle car.
A tuner car sounds like a bad washing machine. Yeah, it sounds
Yeah.
like a washing machine,
Yeah.
bro.
So is that, I've never heard the term tuner. So
Yeah.
is that tuner or tutor?
Tuner, like tuner, like you can tune it.
It's
because they do a lot of tuning
It's all
the car.
computerized.
Yeah, computer tuned. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's all mainly like European and Asian. Like you
Right.
said. There's,
Right, but-
there's a huge group of people that drift them. That,
Yes.
I mean, it's a big
Right,
deal.
but a huge part of that is aftermarket fenders and after all of that.
Most of it's aftermarket computer chips.
Is
Right.
it?
Yeah, it's all
Yeah.
the tuning is tuning the motor, the chassis. There's all kinds of stuff they do to those things.
Right.
But there is cosmetic upgrades that they do, but a lot of it's like the word tuning comes from tuning the motor.
Right.
Okay. See, I didn't.
Through the computer.
Yeah.
The only electronics in my car is in the distributor.
That's it. That's the only one. That's why I like 327. That's why I like small block Chevys, is because I'm not even a car guy, but I can take one apart and put one back together. I promise you that.
Never been able to put one back together.
I always have stuff left over.
Oh yeah, okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
Pile
yeah,
of
yeah.
pieces left.
Yeah. It's
Then
like,
I have to take it to a mechanic, and then they charge you double because you tore it apart and messed it up.
all righty. Well, hey, you want to get us out of here?
Let's do it. On this day, June 27th, 1923, Captain Lowell H. Smith and John P. Richter performed the first ever aerial refueling in a DH-48 biplane.
Wow.
1923 was the first time they sent gas from one airplane to another in the sky.
Yeah.
1923.
So 23. Yeah. So less than 20 years.
Right at the end of the Depression. isn't
Right.
it?
I know, but I mean, the first flight wasn't until
Yeah, 1908.
Yeah, 08, 07, I think.
07?
Yeah. The World
Crazy.
War.
1929, the first
You're right,
color
buddy.
television demo performed by Bell Laboratories in New York City.
What year?
1929.
Thank you.
29.
1955, on this day, the first automobile seatbelt legislation was enacted in Illinois. 1955. 1994, on this day, Aerosmith became the first major band to let fans download a full new track for free on the internet. Now music, they don't, it's so different now.
Yeah.
Huh? I mean, remember in the 90s, like late 90s, 95, 96, 97, you're on Napster, like trying to down, and you get 18 viruses from one song that took you a day and a half to download. It's so different now. 2017, on this day, Mark Zuckerberg announces Facebook has reached 2 billion monthly users. 2 billion. That's a lot of people, man. That's a lot. The number one song in America on this day in 2003, I had to go to 2003, Miss Independent by Kelly Clarkson. And then my quote for the day: the difference between who you are and what you want to be is what you do. One more time. The difference between who you are and what you want to be is what you do. That's it.
Good one.
All right.
Mhm.
Good stuff. Thank you guys for being with us.
Thank you.
Good to be
Yeah,
here.
appreciate it.
Really appreciate it. All right. We'll see you Thursday.